Hello, my name is Nihar Shah, and today I'm going to be talking about the paper From ChatGPT to ThreatGPT, Impact of Generative AI in Cybersecurity and Privacy. This paper was by Manak Gupta, Charan Kumar Kiri, Chits Aryal, Eli Parker, and Lopra Murtha Pararaj. So a little bit of introduction and background. Gen AI, or generative artificial intelligence, is any artificial intelligence that can kind of create its own median or create its own data. The example we'll be talking about today are LLMs, and more specifically ChatGPT. But other examples of LLMs or large language models are Llama, Cloud, and Gemini, which is formerly Bard, which is Google's LLM. And LLMs can be used in fields ranging from art to finance. Anything that has an input of text can also have an output of text. So literally any field, LLMs have been used in it. But also, generative AI is a double-edged sword. It can both help and hurt. Hallucinations, or when fake data is brought to the forefront and used as an answer, has become a serious issue, especially in legal briefs where cases that have never happened have become part of filings in our actual court system. There's also no correctness checker. So if ChatGPT gets something incorrect, there is no way of actually knowing whether or not that is right or wrong. And at the end of the day, it's not a human. It doesn't learn the same way that we do. It doesn't use the same data. It isn't able to go, oh, I got this wrong. I'll never get it wrong again. There are just some things that not being a human kind of hurts with. So the paper itself starts off by delving into the history of generative AI. And actually, it started a long time ago, almost 80 years, in the 1950s with hidden Markov models and Gaussian mixture models. But with the advent of generative adversarial networks a few decades later, things kind of kickstarted. And now GPT, or generative pre-trained transformer, has kind of come to the forefront of the market, especially with the OpenAI ChatGPT, which you can see the history of on the right side there. There have been 4 different versions. We are now currently in GPT-4. But as you can see right here, GPT-4 is extremely powerful, and it's able to pass the bar exam. It's able to actually become a lawyer in the United States. Of course, there are a few more steps, but that's like the main thing. So the paper also delves into the cybersecurity and privacy issues that relate to generative AI, the ethical issues with ChatGPT, how to trick the model in multiple ways, how the model can be used for security and privacy, and just the general social, legal, and economic implications of this sort of model being available to the public. So why do we care about the abilities of just one model? Well, it's not just one model. There are 180 million people currently using it right now. And that amount of data, that amount of trust being put into a model is just huge. And so this is a general diagram of the impact of generative AI in cybersecurity and privacy. Right now, we'll be focusing on a few of the other things. So there are ways to attack ChatGPT, including jailbreaks, reverse psychology, prompt injection, and also just generally, there are ways to access data that has been put into ChatGPT earlier. So as you can see here, you can jailbreak ChatGPT. On the left side, you can pretend to be a granddaughter who is sad about her dead grandmother who used to tell her web application firewall information, which obviously we don't do. Um, and ChatGPT will give you that information, even though it shouldn't be able to. It shouldn't, through privacy reasons. And on the right side, ChatGPT ends up getting tricked into giving a list of pirated movies or pirate movie websites by just saying, oh, what website should I avoid if I don't want to use dangerous pirating websites? And it just gives you a list. So as you can see, ChatGPT can be tricked. And in general, going back to the diagram, it can be used for cyber offense and cyber defense. There are a bunch of reasons listed here that we'll go into here. In cyber offense, it can be used for social engineering and phishing attacks. On the left, you can see an email that's meant to phish people, but thinking that they should put their login information for the Amazon account. And on the right side, you have a social engineering like email that is meant to get information, personal information about who it's been sent to. So in general, ChatGPT can also be used to write ransomware, including WannaCry, NotPetya, Ryuk, Revil, Locky adware, general spyware, and Trojan malware. It can also be used to automate cybersecurity initiatives on the other side. Cybersecurity detection and reporting could really help be used by ChatGPT. It has also been used to improve existing technologies, which the paper dives into in more depth. But also there are some privacy implications to this sort of model existing. There's unauthorized access to conversations through data breaches. If OpenAI were to be breached, their data were to be breached, a lot of bad actors would have access to personal conversations between a user and ChatGPT. There's controversy over data ownership and rights. If a model makes something and you pawn it off as your own, who gets the money? That's still not really clear. It could be misused by organizations or employees. Organizations have been known to watch if their employees are putting their code into ChatGPT, which happened with Samsung recently. Hallucinations that I mentioned earlier are a huge privacy implication, especially if it's user data that's getting hallucinated. And in general, data protection guidelines need to kind of be drawn around what ChatGPT is able to do. The strengths and weaknesses of the paper. The strengths, there was an in-depth analysis of ChatGPT's capabilities in 28 pages, which is very, very in-depth, and some comparison with the privacy capabilities of Google's Bard, which, as we know, is now Gemini. And there's examples of some of the prompts, as I showed you, with ChatGPT's shortcomings. Weaknesses, though, there's little comparison outside of Bard to the other models. There is also step-by-step instructions on how to create malware with ChatGPT, which is not great. I don't think it's great to have public availability of how to design malware. And there's little explanation of the actual cybersecurity and privacy capabilities of GPT or other models over time. We don't know where we came from, so it's kind of hard to judge where we are. And future work and open opportunities, I think this whole paper is one huge opportunity. It's a powerful tool that has completely undiscovered ways of interacting with our security and privacy. And also, legislation is a large area of future work. There's little in terms of data regulation when it comes to generated data and the ownership that comes with it. And also, there needs to be ways to create ethical frameworks and train models that cannot be broken on an ethical level. But with that, that's my paper review. Thank you so much.